Well, hello there and welcome back to the epic game of epicness. We are building advanced alchemy labs everywhere because they are really strong with a lot of districts. And, this game wasn't really about the money, it was about sending a message. Yes. Alright. Went ahead and took a shower. I needed to wait for the video to render out. We're just building 10 walkers at this point, since we dropped the price of all the other units to sub-profitable numbers. I was selling them for 152 dust, while they cost like 400 production or something, 350. So that wasn't really worth it anymore. I went ahead and switched over to trees. Trees should really make my day. Now you could get that first stockpile tech and build a lot of cheap stockpiles and sell those, but the price of those is going to drop down really far too, and you need to worry about one of your opponents having both stockpile techs and then buying those stockpiles and getting a whopping 875. Oh my god, I need to... Nobody saw that border. Nobody saw that border at all. You didn't see that border. Capiche? Yeah, our heroes are finally starting to level up now because we equipped that dust item on them. That way they get more experience for every unit they build, as well as the units getting more experience. But that somehow also increases the gain that they get, which is pretty funny. But, you know, I'll use it if it's there. We're getting some stupid random tech just to get through to the next stage, because we want to go and beeline towards that. So we're getting some really cheap tech. But our resources problem is becoming bigger and bigger because we are lagging behind very far, because we don't have any adamant and we still refuse to settle more cities. Now we enter age 5 and we really want to get the marvelous alloys and the other stuff. Marvelous alloys and marvelous armor, and other than that we don't really want anything from that era. We're just going to keep getting cheap ass techs in order to progress through the game and go get into age 5. Now techs get more expensive as you progress through the ages, but the older techs will still be substantially cheaper. Usually you still want to go for the newer techs because they're better, but in era 5 I don't really see a lot of good techs that are worth the extra science. A lot of buildings are, but those also cost a lot of resources, and I mean a lot of resources. So I just feel like that's not worth it. I feel like it's better to get buildings that don't cost anything, especially if you start getting a huge empire. Now it is about time that we start to fight the roving clans, because we just have way too little resources, and Red already took over half the globe. We got that message, so I was like, well, if push comes to shove late game, there's no way I'm gonna get enough palladium to build 3 stacks of those, and well, I only have 16 Hyperium, so plus he's the Volter, so if he uses that holy resource thing, wow, then I'm gonna get screwed, you know. So like, I needed to do something about that. So we're equipping our guys with mostly dust items and a little bit of a titanium ring, which is pretty much the be-all end-all. You kind of want to get that on all of your units, if at all possible. It's a 50% damage increase. I mean, kind of want to get that. Although there's something to be said for not getting that on your junkers, because their attack value isn't high enough to pierce through the armor of other people. Then again, your junkers will be a lot stronger than their junkers, meaning that your, suppose you were to split your army in half. On one hand you have your super stacks, and on the other hand you have your shit units. Your shit units meet his shit units, and your prime stack meets his prime stack. Your units on the one wave are gonna push through, but I didn't do that this game because I didn't have enough titanium for it. But if you have surplus titanium, you might as well. Anyway, our 10L walkers are doing fine. We are building. Look at that sweet ass production. Are you seeing this, Batman? Are you seeing this? 4 of my elite elite killing machines in one turn with a Barrow Street in there. Like, oh, that is some bullshit. That is some fucking bullshit. But yeah, my forest style is giving me 11 production. That was the Dutch word for 11. And right now, we're noticing that we're not making any money off of units. So we're like, well, let's just build some stockpiles then, and sell those for money. Since we got both techs, their price has to increase, right? No, it doesn't. There's only one type of stockpile, and if you get the tech, all of them upgrade, but not for other people who don't have that stockpile. But we got a battle here, which we're not going to really watch, I don't think, because I autoed, but he didn't, which kind of sad. But yeah, there's nothing I can do here. Well, we are watching it apparently, but yeah, my units are a lot stronger. Plus, I can make this army, this exact army, really fast, like really fast. Make one in 3 turns if I focus all of my city on it. No, faster. I can make one in like 2 turns, because I can make the rangers. I can make 4 rangers in 1 turn in my capital. So the only thing I need then is my other cities to be able to produce something else. I don't know. They can all produce 1 unit, and then my capital can produce the final unit as well in the 2nd turn. It's just broken. The trees are a bit of a clinch. I don't know, is that a word? Clinch? Clog in the machine. A clink in the machine. A clink in the machinery. Is that a word? I don't know. The trees are really expensive production-wise, so we expanded a little bit, so we can't get the optimal empire plan, but we can still get the 50% health, which is pretty much essential, and the movement speed, which is also pretty much essential. Other than that, we're not getting a lot. But we still have 1 turn to go, and we're not going to take any more cities because we don't want to fuck up our empire plan. Now, we're gonna go ahead and check out what that production does pretty soon, I think. Yeah, I had the dead dude visiting me, so I was kind of explaining that thing right there, my setup, my custom faction. 875 production on city. They sell. I can buy a new one for 273.8. The 10-hour walker sells for 211 gold, and I can get 2 10-hour walkers in 1 stockpile. This 1 stockpile is about 900 production, and the 10-hour walker cost me 450 production to build. So I can literally buy a stockpile, put it in a city, build 2 10-hour walkers in 1 turn, sell them, and make 200 dust profit. What the fuck? What even is that? Like, what even is that? So if we use the thing on Zacharach, when we use the stockpile on Zacharach, half the production pile of all the buildings in there finished in 1 turn. That's... So that dude was like, those industry stockpiles, what the fuck? And the food ones as well. The food ones give 875 food. That's gonna put a city all the way to freaking Kingdom Come when it comes to food. That's pretty weird. So yeah, I got that harvester thing because we were building 1,000 food in 1 city. I should probably sit up straight. Man, this Let's Playing thing is good for my form. Anyway, we're continuing to lay siege to his cities, and he decides to counterattack in the first worthwhile attempt to stop me. But as you can see, he has a lot of money with heirs and the Gary Ranger 8s, which I sold. So that's pretty funny. Because he just bought the stuff that I... He's just buying the stuff that I made. And I'm fighting those right now, but my units are stronger because they have better equipment. His do have more HP, but... More HP on the Gary Rangers is kinda... eh. We did lose a unit here, which is kinda sad, but... You know... Look at that! Did you see that? What the fuck? I'm building 8 money with ears in 1 turn in my capital. 8. Like if I press end turn, I'm making more than 8, but they don't fit. So what the fuck? What even is this? I don't even. And that's without an industry stockpile too. So I was kind of planning on swamping Red because I didn't have any proper resources. But that's before, well, you'll see. That is before I discovered a special resource of special properties. And I looked at that resource. And I was like, awesome. Now, we have a pretty cool gap there. So I asked him, have you ever watched the movie 300? Because I was afraid that he had whole heaps of high-level units. But if you look at that where my units are positioned, there is a cliff. And next to that cliff are mountains, which are impassable. And there's only 1 tile that's an opening, and on the other hand there's a lake. So if he wants to siege my capital, he has to go through my 2nd city out. So if he wants to go for sending, he either needs to walk all the way around. Well, I guess he can go past the mountain pass, but then he'd have the same thing. Because there's another opening at the left side, but once again, it's the same story. He either has to go through there, which is really bad militarily, strategically. So he's not going to do that. So he has to go through out, basically. But right now, I'm like, well, this Hyperion stuff. This Hyperion stuff ain't bad. And neither is this Marvelous Alloy stuff, actually. So, first thing I do is I equip my units with some Palladium. And then I look at my stats and I look at his stats. And I'm like, well, I don't think Palladium's gonna be enough. Because I looked at his stats and it wasn't all that impressive. Now, I knew I had more units. Because there's no way he was gonna beat this unit production. But I was kind of afraid that this main stack would just wipe them all in 1 hit. And I was also afraid of him having Ceremovitero, so I declare war on him and in the peace negotiations check if he has Ceremovitero, which he doesn't. Just gonna go ahead and swap out all of my units with tier 3 dust, where they had tier 2. And I'm gonna be gathering Hyperium like crazy, because I'm gonna need that since there's no other resource. Still, Hyperium is better than tier 2 Palladium actually. It just doesn't have initiative. But your Dakari Rangers have a lot of innate initiative, so once they hit level 10, I mean, it should be good. So he doesn't have Serum of Jiro, and we were trying to get it before him, which is probably not going to work since we're science inefficient, and yeah, he is science efficient. So we're like, well, let's just get the rare alloys and rare armor then, and at least have some kind of punch, some kind of trick up our sleeve. At least be able to fight him, because I was really afraid that we would. I looked at his stats and I was like, there's no way. There's no way we're beating him here. So we finally get some Hyperium stuff, and just in case he wanted to storm right at me, went ahead and retrofitted my units, which I probably shouldn't have done because they had Palladium weapons, so I wasted a little bit of Palladium there. And well, we're just gonna continue to gather our shit, see if there's anything better. The Hyperium boots only cost me 1 Hyperium per unit, and they gave me, I believe, 25% extra damage, which, as you'll see later on, I need damage. Because my attack value is gonna rise up to above 1000, which, you know, above 1000, there's no defense that's gonna beat that. So here we kind of panic because we see 2 city besieged pop-ups. But luckily they're just Roman armies. Kinda sucks though, because I need to send one of my stacks up there, and I don't know where he is. I'm also continually being forced to sell these whole squads of units in order to go to the market and buy more resources. More Hyperium and Palladium and whatnot. We finally get to assign the proper hero to the proper city, because we made a misclick earlier, which was really sad, because the hero in Sendin had all the industry bonuses that exist, and, well, especially the percentage ones in a city like Sendin is pretty substantial. Now we also noticed that we're on content, or just about, yeah, we're on content, so we're kind of buying luxury resources whenever we can as well to upgrade that, crank that up a little bit. And it seems that if you enter the 6th age, the units start costing a crap ton more than they did before. Like, I know that every age increases the price of the units. Man, that was pretty big. So we're getting some science stockpiles just to speed up our progress a little bit. And we see his armies moving in, and I'm like, well, we're gonna fight. If we're going to fight, then we should fight on my terms, because I'm not going to fight you unless yeah, I'm checking out what that does, but that's kind of shit. If we're gonna fight, then we're gonna fight on my terms. So we fight here, and as you can see, this is freaking stupid. Now look at this. What even is this? His army is completely funneled into that little tile there, but he autoed because he was like, well, you're gonna win anyway. Which he probably shouldn't have. He probably should have fought this himself, but well, I mean, there was very little he could do, to be fair. I mean, this terrain was just way too good for me. So he walks in. I almost lose a unit, actually, because his marines do quite a bit of damage. Now he opted to go for rumblers, which are kind of bad units. The Titans are better in almost everything that they do, except for they don't have beam attack. But defensive impulse is really strong, and so is sweep strike back, which the others can't get. I'm actually going to lower the volume a little bit here, if you don't mind, because having trouble being able to hear myself. Now we see his units over here, and we see that those are pretty much Junkers. The army we just killed were Junkers as well, but we have no time to waste. We need to go, and we need to go now, because we checked his tech again, and we saw that he has had difference engine. So we knew that his first level 5 tech wasn't going to be, or that he didn't pick Serum over Tiro as his first level 5 tech. So, but because he got Serum, difference engine, he was gonna get it really fast. So, there's that. Now I'm kind of afraid to auto here, because those are a lot of Marines, and I don't know how the auto battle will react to that. But luckily we don't lose any units, which is good. We just crashed through here. We attack that city, but don't let that army reinforce, because we now know how strong our stacks are. And he decides to attack here, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to let you bring more units in, so we're just going to fight. Now, his units are a lot stronger than mine, but I have way more. So, I'm just gonna fight there. And we're both going to lose a little bit of this. But when I can replenish my forces a little bit quicker. Plus they're closer by, so. Yeah, we fight again. And the siege is now broken, which is pretty good. Here we make a terrible mistake. Look at where that army is situated. That is terrible. That army is completely boxed in that cliff range there. So if he decides to attack that army, I'm gonna be so screwed. And he just got Serum over Tiro. And he was like, oh, this game's over, fuck, GG, you know? But then he got Serum over Tiro, and look at the power spike, look at the power spike. So we're forced to retreat there. Because we definitely didn't want to lose that army. Because that army wasn't, this isn't a Hyperion army, Hyperion Palladium army, and there's no way I'm gonna replenish that. And that is his main stack, I believe. So I'm gonna be forced to fight that, and we lose 2 units. But we did get Serum over Tiro this turn, so we were able to fight it. If we hadn't gotten Serum over Tiro right then and there, we would have lost the game. Because he was a lot stronger than me there, as I'll show in the final power graph. And we're trying to replenish our losses in our power stack by building some more Dakari Ranger 11s. And we're going bankrupt because this war is really expensive and we can't really pay for our units. And we're like going bankrupt every turn unless we sell a whole crap load of guys. So we're selling a whole bunch of Junkers while keeping the ones at the front alive. And selling the ones in the back is a good idea because even if he comes, there's a new stack being born every turn. So especially Rangers. You should probably not sell those Tenai Walkers. At minimum price, both of those sell for about the same thing, but you can build the Dakari Rangers a lot faster. So we attack the city with 4 armies while making sure that the armies don't reinforce each other, so that they don't use action points, so that we can attack again and again and again in order to take that city while he's teleporting units in to prevent me from taking that. So we check what his tech is. And I'm running into some real grease here, because we are losing tons of money. Now he's bringing some more stacks in, but I pretty much outnumber him 3-1 at every turn, so that's nice. But there was still this moment where he got Sermo Vitero where he could have totally kicked my ass. But that was only one turn though. So, and it was kind of too little too late, because I already took a whole bunch of his cities that was right in his face. And we were pretty close to his capital, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right there is his capital. But he was a lot closer to victory than you might think. Especially in the discussion after the game. When we talked after the game, he didn't have enough Mithrite to use Holy Resource. So, like, he didn't have Holy Resource the turn he attacked me. Here I'm like, yeah, funnily enough, my subscribers pose the biggest challenge to me. Which, that's pretty much, yeah, pretty much true. I still haven't beat John Lesko and Casper, though, but I believe Casper is subscribed. So, and kudos to Magog, because he beat Casper. Once, he says. He teched to victory while he hid on an island. But still, he beat fucking Casper. I haven't done that. But to be fair, I only played him 3 times. And it was... Well, that's still 3 times. I mean, I haven't lost that many. So here I'm laying siege to his capital. We're like, ah, because he was about three turns away from he's 1 turn away from Endless Alloys, and he already has Difference Engine and Serum of Etero, so he was really close to victory. So yeah. But here we get the end screen score. If we look at the overall score, yeah, I surpassed him the moment I got, but hold on, I can pause the video because I'm awesome. Finally a breather. Okay. So, like, if you, this is pretty funny. I literally broke the the military score graph. See, it doesn't fit in the box. It doesn't fit on the thing. Or whatever. His fits on the thing. Mine doesn't for some reason. I don't know why. Possibly it's because of my. Don't really know. But yeah, this turn right here. This is when the fighting started. And my stacks were, my super stacks were gradually killing his units. There was a battle in my out city right here, but you don't really notice my military power going down because I'm producing so many units. I was producing more units than I lost in that battle, so my military power didn't go down. But his was going down gradually until he got Serum of Etero right here. If I had waited and attacked when he was at this point, his military score would have been about 150 points, 150,000 points more. Like, you need to double this, right? So no, it would have been about 100,000 points higher. But even then, if you look at this line, this is turn 100 right here. He got Serum of Etero, and he was pretty substantially higher than me. But if I had attacked later, he definitely would have won. Because the moment he got Difference Engine, he only needed to tech for another 15 turns, and he would have kicked my ass. Regardless, though, I got Serum of Etero the turn afterwards, and, well, you can see what happens here. I just go full bananas, and then there's a battle here, a big battle, where I auto a lot, and that happened. But still, man, that is some fucked up shit. Anyway, looking at expansion, we were actually pretty equal. Well, I was surpassing everyone at the start, of course, because I had that cellulose mutation. And then when he conquered light green and that other guy, well, he conquered light green, and Kavad was that other dude that came in. He already got killed by light green, and then he killed this dude. He took over cities, and then the gap kind of closed. So I wasn't really building districts at this point here. Yeah, there you go. And then here is when I get a massive spike because I take over the roving clan's lands, and this is when I start taking over cities. So, but this was pretty equal, and you need to keep in mind he didn't even have a custom faction. If he had a custom Volters faction with cellulose mutation, he would have cracked my face, I think. Anyway. Looking over to the next graph, population, yeah, that's pretty much equal. Research was stunningly equal, actually. I mean, look at this shit. Oh, hold on. Hold on right there. On, move over to research. Look at this. This is bullshit. Look at this, man. That's so equal. But the thing where my nation excelled in was industry, by far. After this period, I was kind of putting my dudes onto science and not on industry, so that's why the spike went down. But yeah, let me just replay this from the start so we still have some background music. Yeah, that was a pretty freaking epic game. It was really close to winning. I like late game wars, they're pretty fun. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me what you think about my custom factions. I'll post a link to the Reddit in the description, so you can go ahead and discuss it there. It's pretty much it. This game was kind of to showcase why I'm not going to play with custom factions anymore. Because custom factions, anything with cellulose mutation is just straight up stupid. It's broken. It's dumb. Like, I made the most retarded race ever. Like, I make no dust. I go bankrupt every 2 to 3 turns if I don't sell all my units. So, like, I don't know. It's a pretty stupid faction. And I got science inefficient too. If you don't get science inefficient. And then there's Veins of Orga. If you add Veins of Orga into this setup, then holy shit, you're actually going to get enough resources to be able to build state-of-the-art units. And then there's another thing. This build is the strongest when you do a tier 2 glass steel titanium attack, because it's not that good in the late game. Actually, it's better. It's better to just surprise the enemy with like 30 units or something, where 18 of those or something stupid like that are just full glass steel titanium units. Because you can do that if you add Veins of Orga and add slow travelers and have all this production. You can easily do that and just attack the enemy at like turn 40 with 30 units. It is very much possible if you get a few good forest regions. And that's... I just don't know. Feels kind of broken. And I'm using the Wild Walkers here. If you use something like the Necrodrones or something, then you're just going to completely rape everything. It's yeah. That's pretty freaking broken. So, not going to be using that anymore. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And discuss this shit on the Reddit thread below me. Bye-bye.